we're talking about the potential for a new casino in downtown Indianapolis. So I don't know if you've all seen the news here. This is what's going on. Down in Ohio County, there is the Rising Star Casino it's kind of fallen out of favor down there, and they're looking for a place to move it. And one of the front runners, I believe last year in 2024, they were thinking about taking it up to New Haven, up just outside of Fort Wayne. I believe there was already renderings, all this stuff, like going to put a casino up in the Fort Wayne area. Now it's looking like downtown Indianapolis is the front runner to get the Rising Star Casino, which is currently in Rising Sun. That license gets moved, and we're talking about bringing that to downtown Indy. And it is, some sides of the coin say this is a good thing. Other sides say this is a bad thing. What we're seeing is there's two potential locations. One is there's some parking lots on South Street, across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium, could be a potential destination for it. The other is across those tracks in the Pan Am Plaza. That's another location where we could see...
Which was off of Illinois and Georgia?
Illinois and Georgia right there, where they're putting in the new Signia Hotel. This is interesting. I don't know. What's your initial thoughts to downtown casino for Indianapolis?
You get into the numbers, and you see the tax money that comes in from that, not just the revenue from the casino, but we're talking upwards of $700 million pumped into the city annually.
Yeah, so I think the number projected impact, I was reading the Indianapolis Business Journal article. It says $490 million in gross annual revenue with $170 million in annual gambling tax revenue that would go into Marion County. That would go in. And we have all these big dreams and aspirations, but you got to figure out how to pay for this stuff. You talk about new soccer stadium. You're going to have to, do some renovations to Lucas Oil at some point. It was a new stadium back when it opened, I believe. 08
season.
Right? It's like this is now some time on it.
It'll add some juice to Indy for sure.
Yeah, and you talk about, being able to pay for it. I think that's an interesting piece. You also talk about we welcome so many people in. This is a new attraction downtown. This whole 9 yards. What it does make interesting is you have Anderson just outside in the Donut County. You have Shelbyville. I don't know what it means for those. That's kind of a challenging predicament there.
For sure. And for Indianapolis, I mean, separating Anderson and Shelbyville's casinos and Shelbyville with the horse track, like, Indianapolis has, I think it was the sports core in them just saying that they want to become the mecca of women's sports by 2050. Or they want to become the sports capital of the United States. This is a little linchpin that you could plug in and say, here's one more thing we can add to the city and the experience to become more than, I would say, Indianapolis. We're known as great hosts. I mean, we host NCAA Final Fours coming up next March. Early April. We've hosted the NCAA College Football Championship just a few years ago. We had the entire March Madness tournament in Indianapolis coming out of the COVID year. So we are a great host for a number of events on the sporting scene, a great host for conventions as well. That convention center is pretty much around the clock every weekend of the year. So 52 weekends across the year, you've got something going on at the convention center and downtown hotels being filled. I think the biggest thing is when maybe a convention is going on in town, there not always being enough options for entertainment, or if you're only in town for a couple of nights and you're at the convention all day, say just from 9 to 5, where are you going to go eat? And then what are your plans after dinner before you've got to get back to your hotel room? Well, a casino kind of helps fill some of those voids that, hey, you're out with your coworkers or your friends, family, whatever. Like you can burn some hours that way. It
could help bolster it not just being a convention town. Like people go, you think about, the greatest example of this is like on, times 1,000, but it's Las Vegas. You go there and you're touring, you're doing tourism for the casino. This would be an interesting piece. And I think that there's the opportunity, and I want to go through this thought exercise of how you would build the perfect downtown Indianapolis casino. And I think it could also be the capital of watching sports, as well as, women's sports, amateur sports capital, and how this could fit into sports core, the CIB, like all of these things planned. So if I were designing the ultimate downtown casino in Indianapolis, obviously you take the base stuff. You have the slot machines, you have the tables, but you have to think about an elevated sports experience. I'm talking, have you seen Cosm? These are those, like, I don't even know what, but they're like these massive screens that make you feel like you're at the game. They're crazy. You've definitely seen clips of this on Instagram, and there was one in Dallas, and it could be an insane addition. It's almost kind of like the Sphere in Las Vegas, but for watching sport. It makes you feel like you're in the end zone. The sound is there, and it could just be an awesome premium sports viewing experience. Because if you, let's say you come and visit Indianapolis, but there's no Pacers games, there's no Colts game, there's no Fever game.
Or they're on the road.
Or they're on the road. You get people in town that know that this is a sports city, and you create this, maybe we have multiple viewing options where you could have, okay, hear me out on this. On the rooftop of the downtown Indianapolis casino, you've got our own version of the stadium swim, a heated pool, like Four Seasons, where people could get out there. Even if there was snow coming down, we figured out the way. Obviously, this is, not necessarily a pipe dream. This is, I don't know exactly the engineering behind it, but imagine giant rooftop screens where you can watch sports here in Indianapolis. Maybe a little swim up bar. Like that could be a power move. You talk about this new Signia Hotel. People are, traveling back and forth. They want to come be part of the Indianapolis Sports Swim. Maybe not stadium swim, sports swim.
I like sports swim.
Yeah, the sports swim. Come on. You have a little 1933 cocktail lounge on the roof. We might be onto something here, Shane.
I think you're onto something for sure. And they wouldn't just market that across the nation as like, hey, we've got this new casino and here's what it looks like. But the second someone comes in for a convention that is an out-of-towner and experiences it, they go home in just the word of mouth, because that's what you do when you go to a Vegas or you go to a Nashville or you travel. You come back and you tell your friends and family about the trip, what went well, what didn't go well. And if you have a otherworldly experience at Indianapolis's downtown casino, and there are these elements to it that are unique or one of a kind, that would do the city very well.
Yeah. And
it would just encourage people to come here.
And you think about like all the, like imagine sports swim, the Indy 500 experience for sports swim. You have 300,000 people coming to Speedway for the race. You figure out a deal there. You got people at sports swim hanging out there. Like it just creates this premium feel, and you could market it as the greatest place for sports, whether you're watching sports, live sports, you're watching sports at this new venue. It could really be powerful. I think that if we think big and market it as this is the sports capital, whether you're watching, whether you're playing youth sports up in, Westfield, everything sports is Indiana, is Indianapolis. That could be pretty fun, man.
And I think one other touch I would add just to that sports, either sports book or when you come in through the casino, if you're leaning into the sports scene, is I think of Caesar's Palace down in Vegas, and there's all the sculptures and statues. I would target like a Mount Rushmore of Indiana athletes, whether they're from Indiana originally or had significant impact for any of our professional sports teams. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of Indiana athletes? Peyton Manning, Larry Bird.
I mean, you got to put Reggie Miller in there.
You going 2 basketball?
Right? I mean, you just think of all-time Indiana GOATs.
And it doesn't just have to be 4.
No, like but if there were just
you go through Caesar's Palace, there's statues everywhere.
You had these statues all around. I mean, we have no shortage. I wonder, like, what criteria does it take to get? Because it's like, well, do we make a Caitlin Clark statue? And it's like, maybe, I don't know. Do
you wait till she's a Hall of Famer, or
do you like call your shot a little bit early? Like, think about all the people you have, like John Wooden. There are some insane athletes that have come through Indianapolis that you could, give a little tribute to them there. You 1,000%. Could make this just a spectacle. I'm all in on spectacles. I think that there's a lot of potential here. At the end of the day, though, when you think about like the economics and stuff behind it, there's a lot of big visions that the city of Indianapolis has from an MLS team. Obviously, the Capital Improvement Board. I'll let you do your own research on all that jazz. But it's like I think in the article they said it's intriguing to see, and they see the tourism potential. They have to fund a lot of these improvements. This is a way, You
They could do
increase tax revenue. Could be an interesting way to bring that to life. Yeah, bottom line, this is an option. Fort Wayne is still an option. Ideally, though, this is what it is. There is an underperforming casino license down in Ohio County. We have to do a whole other episode about what losing that casino means to Ohio County.
It's going to be tough.
I don't know. It doesn't seem great there.
No.
I think that there's definitely some stuff that happened down there to bring industry to that place. Because I would be curious on how many jobs are tied to the Rising Star Casino in Rising Sun.
A couple hundred, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
And I wonder how many households are loosely connected to that. So something to keep your eye on. This is not a done deal. We are not saying there is 100% going to be a casino in downtown Indianapolis. We're saying, though, it's an option. And I think it could be a very fun option and if we market it right.
It's like Dumb and Dumber.
So
You're telling me there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.